OG. Back into the topic, back into the video. So the title of this video is going to be how 50-50 or what 50-50 looks with my wife. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers to the channel. I definitely keep pushing the video out. Give you leverage. You better yourselves. So let's get into it. So how does 50-50 look with my wife? So I've made a couple of videos before on this channel when it comes to 50-50. And a lot of times with guys, especially the modern guy, meaning that, you know, guys that are Gen Z, guys that are like in their, maybe like their early to mid 20s, maybe even early 30s, when they mean 50-50, they mean like they want to split bills 50-50 with a woman or their wife. And I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't agree with that at all, right? But there are some other aspects of 50-50 that I do agree with, and and I'm gonna talk about some of those things on this video. So, you know, so going back to what I was saying before, I do not agree with splitting bills with my wife, period, at all. Any type of significant bills that need to be paid in the household, I pay those bills. Even if my wife was working, and even when she was working, we did not split bills. Now, I will say that there was a rough patch of financial strife in my life at one point where I had to default to my wife helping me with some of the bills. It wasn't a good look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really did not want her to do that. Because in my mental state, I'm like, I should be the breadwinner. My wife should not be burdened with paying bills. That's not what wives supposed to be doing. That's my personal opinion, right? But, you know, at the end of the day, it was a rough patch I was going through, which is my fault, which made it even worse because I put financial burden on my wife and it was my fault that it happened, right? So I felt extremely bad about that. And, you know, thankfully she stayed with me. My wife is a trooper in a way, regardless of anything we've been through. She has held me down in so many aspects, I can't even name all of them. So shout out to my wife, like seriously, like she is definitely one of a kind. But like I was saying, like that particular aspect of 50-50, I do not agree with or believe in at all. But see, these are some of the things that I do agree on when it comes to 50-50. One is chores around the house, like cleaning. At one point in my marriage, I did not believe that I should be cleaning anything. Whether it be dishes, whether it be sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, none of that. Because first couple of years, and even beyond that, I was the only breadwinner, right? So if my wife's home with the kid, why should I come home and help out with the dishes? Why should I come home and help out with cleaning up? All these other things, right? I mean, like, I'm the one bringing the bacon home. So if I'm bringing the bacon home, then I should have a clean house, and I should have a hot meal on the table. And I should have some wet coochie later on that night. That's the way I felt about things during that time. Now in my older age, I understand that's not realistic. It really isn't, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that guys can't have those type of things in their lives. But what I'm saying is that in my marriage and my situation was anecdotal, that should not have been the case. I should have been, at the very least, somewhat helpful when it came to my wife doing these type of things. But I wasn't, because in my mentality, in my mental state at the time, it didn't compute. Like, I did not believe that I should be doing these things. Now, mind you, my wife has lupus. And anybody that knows what lupus is, it is a very debilitating disease. It really is. It's an autoimmune disease. It almost feels like you have the flu all day, every day. Now, we got married in 2004. She got diagnosed in 2014. Because lupus is a very hard disease to diagnose. It masks itself with other type of diseases, right? So think about it. First 10 years of our marriage, my wife is dealing with an illness that she didn't know that she had. She always feeling bad. She's always feeling sick. A lot of times she couldn't work, but she didn't work because she could not work, because she physically couldn't get out of bed sometimes. And I still expected my wife to do all these things that she should be doing physically as a wife, because I was the breadwinner and I was the one taking care of all of the finances. Very selfish of me at the time. I'll be the first one to admit that. But let's remove the aspect of her being sick. Let's say she wasn't sick at all. I think that every husband should still put some effort into doing things as far as helping your wife when it comes to cleaning up. You know, now I do understand that depending on what kind of job you have, it could be a very physical job, and you come home and you don't feel like helping out with cleaning or doing this other than maybe the weekend, or you just feel like coming home and just having a drink, watching TV or whatever. But I'm telling you, you would get so much more from your wife if you contribute 50-50 with those type of things. Now, on the caveat of things, I will say that for the most part, yes, if your husband is working, then your husband should not come home to a trash house. He shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? But we all human. We all have breaking points. We all have a situation in our lives where we just don't feel like doing certain type of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all human. So for a husband to totally believe that 100% his wife should be doing all these things and he help out with nothing when it comes to that, that's not realistic. And I think that you're going to have a resentful wife after a certain point. I believed at one point that with having kids, because I was a breadwinner, I was gone all day, I should not have to help my kids out with homework. I'm like, I'm busy. I get home and I'm tired. I was in the Army, you know what I'm saying? So there was, some days rougher than others, right? But I came home and sometimes my body would be literally broke down. I maybe was doing some training or doing some things that, like, all I wanted to do was just get home, take a shower, and go to bed. But in my older age, I'm sitting here thinking now, like, what did my wife feel like during the day, taking care of the kids, taking care of the house? Some men don't understand that being a housewife is not an easy task. It really isn't. Especially for a woman, because women are emotional creatures, right? So having stress, women that have stress don't really deal with stress that well. A lot of times they're forced to, depending on what kind of man they have, right? But a lot of times women do not deal with stress or pressure that easily. They really don't. So, the pressure of having things to be, pleasing to their man can be very taxing on their mind. And I'm not saying that a woman should try their best to please the husband, because the husband should be in the same token of that, doing 50-50. If she's pleasing me and trying her best to please me, then I should be doing the same thing to her, right? But getting back to my point, when it comes to her being a housewife and her having to do a lot of these things, it can be very taxing on her physically and mentally. So giving your wife a break can mean everything. Like, for example, for my wife. My wife has made a huge transformation physically, and she's a lot healthier than she was before. So once again, shout out to her. That was all on her. That wasn't on me. That was on her. But which also means that she's able to move around physically a lot better than what she was before. But I still pay for a cleaning service to come by every week to clean the house thoroughly, like a thorough cleaning. Why? Because I want to give my wife a break. I want her not to have to do these things every single day. Every once in a while, I'm not too much of a good cook, but every once in a while, I try to do some cooking. Right? When even on days when I go to work and I go to DC and I come home, I still try to get up there and try to cook. Right? Now, it's not all the time, but I still try to do my part. And helping out with the kids, same thing, right? So there's so many things that I can name off when it comes to me and my wife going 50-50 on certain things versus us going 50-50 with money, right? And some of the things that I just mentioned may not be exactly 50-50. Like, she may do certain things more than me because I'm out the house longer than she is during the day. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that I don't mind going 50-50 with those type of things, right? And I think a lot of men out here in the world feel like that, going 50-50 with a woman is like the thing to do. Like, they should be doing that should be automatic. And I will say that could be the case for certain things. When it comes to finances, no. The economy is crazy right now. So I totally understand that. It's 2024. The economy is crazy. Most households cannot survive on one income, which the reason why I talk about it on the channel is that you should have multiple streams of income. right? Myself, I have 4 different streams of income. So I have 4 checks and a possible every single month. I got another business as well, right? So I got things to fall back on, you know what I'm saying? If you're a man moving around in a space when you have a relationship, when you have a wife, you should have just one income anyway. You set yourself up for failure. Even if your wife is working, you should have at least another income, whether it be a little side hustle or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You should have something else going on. You should. Every man should do that. But anyways, not to get off the topic, but those are some of the things that I go 50-50 with my wife with. And I truly believe that if you're a man that believes in 50-50 with finances, but don't believe in 50-50 when it comes to housework, how does that work? How does that work? You want to go literally 50-50 right down the middle with your wife with bills, right? Bills that take care of the household. But you refuse to pick up a broom. You refuse to wash a dish. You refuse to take your kids to school, to do homework with them. How does that work? I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I hope y'all take heed to what I'm talking about. I really hope you do. Because I'm telling you, what I just said right now can save your marriage right now. It really can. So anyway, drop some comments in the comment section below. Let me know what y'all think about this video. If you want me to discuss the topic or search in the benefit to the channel, email me at findingfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address is in the description below. Say so, G. Signing out. I'm gone.